Good Morning Northwest Morning Sprint is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
All right, welcome back. 6:53. Time to get you ready to take on your Friday in the Morning Sprint.
Mark Peterson is tracking our Memorial Day weekend forecast.
And Nikki Torres is in the studio to tell us about Spokane County possibly getting a green light to move to phase 2 early.
The county has already submitted the request and is now waiting on the state for a response. State health officials said that decision would be made in 1 to 3 days, which could come as early as today. While Spokane County waits, the state has announced Grant County can now apply to move to phase 2 of the governor's Safe Start plan. Grant, Cowlitz, and Pacific counties were added to that eligible list yesterday.
High school football coach who admitted luring underage girls for sex will wait to hear his prison sentence because of COVID-19. Federal prosecutors call Charles Eglett the kind of person parents warn their teenage girls about, and they want him to spend 22 years in prison. He used Snapchat to entice several underage girls and had sex with 2 of them. Eglett was supposed to be sentenced yesterday, but requested a continuance because COVID-19 has kept him from meeting with his attorney. His sentencing is now planned for July.
A teenage boy has been charged with vehicular homicide for a crash that ended in the Spokane River and killed his 16-year-old passenger. The 17-year-old suspect was booked into juvenile detention yesterday. Maina Mugo's body was pulled from the river the day after the crash. The medical examiner determined Mugo died by drowning.
More than 1,000 people in Washington have died from COVID-19, but the State Department of Health says about 5 of those people were actually killed by gunshot wounds. Any person who tests positive for coronavirus then later dies is considered a COVID-19 death. So those people who died from gunshot wounds actually tested positive at some point before that. They will eventually be removed from the current total. The Department of Health says about 3% of Washington's COVID-19 deaths may be changed to a different cause of death.
An update on the Pakistan air crash in Karachi this morning. There is believed to be just 1 survivor among the 99 passengers and crew on board that aircraft, with further casualties reported on the ground. The Airbus A320 was almost at the end of a 90-minute flight when it crashed on the approach to Karachi's Jinnah International Airport.
Black Diamond Bar is the first in the state to be cited for violating Governor Jay Inslee's order to stay closed. Officers with the Liquor and Cannabis Board found the Spokane Valley Bar was still open despite a warning from the state days earlier. But it wasn't open yesterday, and owners say they are not planning to open today either. Instead, they say they're planning something big for Saturday, regardless of whether the governor lets Spokane County enter phase 2. If it does open tomorrow, the bar could be forced to close for 5 days. The owner could also lose his business license for up to 6 months.
The big talk on our Facebook page this morning, those lights in the sky last night. Did you see them? From the looks of it, it might have been a meteor. We would love to hear from you and learn what you saw last night. There was a pinned post on the 4 News Now Facebook page where you can chime in this morning.
Paying respects to a lost soldier will be different this Memorial Day. You can still visit their resting place. There is just a few new rules to keep in mind. The American Legion is leading a drive-through ceremony at the Heritage Funeral Home grounds. People can still walk around and pay their respects from a distance. Staff will be on hand to help those families. 3,800 flags will be waving all weekend, and the drive-through ceremony will start at 11.
The weekend is going to be much better than what we've been living through the past couple of days. Your first alert weather, we do have, again, quite a bit of activity throughout eastern Washington and into North Idaho. And we're expecting that to hang out throughout the day. Things are going to get better, though, for tomorrow as soon as this pushes out past dinner time.
Whether they've already started or will open in the next couple of weeks, preparations have been made to make sure you can shop safely at the farmers market. You can expect vendors and shoppers to be distanced and wearing masks, as well as many other changes. But if you're not comfortable going in person to a farmers market this year, or you don't feel like walking around with all the new changes in place, you can download the Share Farm app to pre-order and pick up your items. Markets using the service this year are Fairwood Market, the Spokane Valley and Liberty Lake Farmers Markets, and Kindle Yards Night Market. To find out how to use Share Farm, see this story on KXLY.com.
Coming up next on Good Morning America, an urgent new warning about that rare inflammatory syndrome linked to coronavirus. It's seen mostly in children, but now some doctors say they're also seeing it in young adults in their mid-20s.
And pop star Katy Perry helps kick off Memorial Day weekend with a concert featuring songs from a new album. Get ready to dance in your living room and start your Friday with a smile. We'll be right back with a look at weather right after this.